little I know about design. So it's just going to be more of an interactive class and an introductory class, actually. So in the course of this session, we're going to have maybe like a mini project. I'll do a design. You see my process of design, and then you can replicate such whenever you're doing anything in design. So design itself, can you see my slide?
Yes, we can. No, yes.
Okay,
Yes,
like, okay. So now for a designer, because, okay, if you're thinking of going into design as a professional, then a personal computer is a must. But for those who are using it maybe to support their businesses, like small scale businesses, we have some mobile apps that gives you the privilege to put up things together just to support your business. You might not have the funding to hire a designer to handle your designs. It's not a crime. You start small. When you scale up, then you can, if you see there's a need to increase productivity, then you hire a designer. So for now, I work as a professional, and most times I learn with my computer, and that's what I use now, because it's actually an investment for you. So what you need, the criteria for this class is the personal computer. You need access to internet. See your internet as a highway to get an information. Don't see your internet as the megabytes. Oh, how many MB have I consumed? When you see your internet that way, then you have limitation in exploring and getting the best in the online space. So a computer, access to internet, and a sketchpad, that's just all big grammar, a pen and a paper, a pencil and a paper. That's actually what you need. So we can start here. So basically, since it's like an introductory class, I would like to start from the scratch, where we talk about designs, what design is all about, and the elements of designs. So from the slide here, you see that design is a process of envisioning and planning the creation of objects, interactive systems, buildings, and vehicles, etc. Let's take design as the art of creation. God created man, God designed man. He put in every fitness in the right position. Think of the eyes. The eyes it's where it's expected to be. It's in the eye socket. The mouth is expected, it's being placed in the position it's expected to be. So that's how design is. You envision something, you plan it, then you go straight into the creation. So you don't just start design and the next thing is you're on your system or you're on your mobile device, you're pushing up stuff. Behind design comes a creative process. And when, as a designer, an upcoming designer, when you master this from the early stage of design, you won't get stuck. You understand the process, you understand the reasons why you are doing what you are doing. No one will just come and say, why did you do this like this? I say, I just thought that you should have a reason for doing what you're doing. I decided to make this yellow. That's what is designed on a black background. Why? To create contrast. That's a reason for me. And for you, the viewer watching this or viewing this slide, it makes sense to you, it is appealing to you because you can feel that this is looking good compared to now having what is designed in black and having the background in black. At the end of the day, it's not a functional design. So design is also user-centered. It is created around users. The main reasons why you're creating a design is for consumption, digital consumption, print consumption, any space. And there's no space on earth now that don't need design for communication, because design is communication. You're trying to pass an information to some set of people using a particular means. So that means it is all about creating solutions for people, physical items or more abstract systems to address a need or a problem. Where there is no need, where there is no problem, there is no solution. Where there's a problem, definitely there's going to be a solution. Now, think of those in the fabric industry, the fashion designers. Actually, this course is going to be like a generic course at first before we go deep down into designs. Think of the fashion designer. He or she goes to the warehouse, the store, to pick up fabrics, and the fabrics looks good on the shelf, but it's not a cloth you can wear. So likewise, design. Someone will come up and give you a content and say, I need a design on this, or just say, Helix, we want a Christmas designs for this year. And this is the theme of the program. This is the verse of the Bible for the Christmas design. And Helix on his own side has to go back to do his own study, do his research, and look at what speaks to this theme, considering the Bible verse that has been provided to me by the client. You will see a typical example of what I'm saying in the course of this class. So here now, exactly. So can we all see this?
Yes.
Okay, I think we only have one person that is interactive in this class here. So now this is an example.
I am also interacting, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. So this is an example of what I was saying. You have a brief, you have a finished product. Now, look at the brief. Let's say this is the brief, and for a client who chooses that, your design is too expensive, it's too this. Okay, we'll just print this, send it online. Will you ever interact with this? That's the brief. As an end user, you will never interact with it because it's not communicating, it's not appealing to your visual senses. At the end of the day, it's more like this is all gibberish. This doesn't make sense to you. Now look at the brief on the left-hand side and the finished product on the right-hand side. You can see that there's a very big difference there, because now the designer has understood what the client wants, interpreted the client's request into something that speaks to the particular theme in question. So that's how designers should think. Designers are creative. It is beyond the pen and the paper, or your mouse and the Photoshop app, or Canva, or Pixel app, whatever app you're using. It is your mind. That's why if, as a designer, over time, for those who want to go deep down into designs, you need to also understand the business of design. You have some people that come to you and talk you down cheaply. It happens like that, oh, is it not just? Yes, it is just, but the mind is not just, because the mind itself is where the creativity happens. Creativity happens from the mind. So it is priceless, basically. Beyond now, it's now you interpreting what you have in your mind into paper to give something that appeals to a particular need. So as a designer, anyone going into the design industry, you have to have a high self-esteem. If you think as a designer that, oh, as a designer, I'm just starting up, and the next thing you want to make, you're just thinking of the money first, you're going to have problem over time. When you solve real life problems, people will be willing to pay you whatever amount of money you request for it. So someone who has a low self-esteem will never have the thought of solving real life problem. He's always going to look at the next 2K, urgent 2K that I can make. At the end of this month, I have a target. I need to do 50 designs to make X amount of money. When someone will just sit down and just do one design, I'll make X amount of money you've made for the whole month. So it shows you that the power of the mind. So as a designer, your mind needs to be active. It has to be very active. So likewise, your eyes. You have to have good eyes that sees color. So now, graphics design as a whole, I just have to give that preamble so that you have full understanding of what you are going into. It's not to scare you. I was once in these shoes, so that I never had the opportunity to have such gathering like this. I learned design by myself, and I went through the heat of understanding how things work. So thanks to the team that has put up this program, and God bless you richly. So now, what is graphics design? Graphics design is the art or profession of visual communication. So it's all visuals. You combine shapes, words, idea. Now you can see ideas now is coming into play. Shape, words, idea. And to communicate to a particular audience and to produce a particular effect. If you have a design, now everyone sees GCK, you can associate yourself with GCK, you can associate yourself with the branding of GCK. Whenever you see GCK, you know what it means. It has been instilled into your head, your subconscious, that, oh, this is Global Crusade with Kumuyi. Likewise, when you see the church logo, Deeper Life Bible Church, once you see it, you don't need to see the letterings, but once you see it from afar, it has its own uniqueness. You can associate yourself with it. So now it's already conveying information to you. So now you can also see that as a way of conveying ideas through visuals and designs. So think of ideas, whatever you have in mind, come to a paper, draft it down, now implement it. It happens like that. Sometimes I have a logo project and what comes to my mind is not to pick up my system and start designing. I might take 2, 3, sometimes the project should last for maybe 2 weeks project, but for the first 5 days, my mind is totally blank because I need to initiate that ideation process whereby I look at the problem on ground. What is the problem on ground? Why do these clients need this logo? How is this logo going to be beneficial to the client? Or is the client making sales at first? Because when a designer, a graphic designer is so selfish, he doesn't think of the client. Over time, you will lose that client you don't think of. When a client notices that you have him or her at heart, he's willing to get talked to you regardless of the amount of money you charge, because he knows that he's getting value for his money or her money. So see yourself as that millionaire designer who thinks of the client problem. Look for how you can solve that problem. Now present it to the client and be mindful of people who want to use you. You need to call a spade a spade. Don't get into a position whereby you'll be used without being happy doing your work, because design is expressive. And when you have this withdrawal system that you're being used, at the end of the day, it is going to affect your productivity. So don't ever get caught up in that space of being used for anything. Rather, have a mutual understanding. Or if the client say, oh, I don't have X and X amount of money, please, I'm so sorry. And you totally understand from the sincerity of the person's heart that, oh, fine, I'm solving a problem. Then you can go on with the job. So I hope you get my point. So now, the fundamentals of design, these are the major things you need to know in design. Anyone who is a designer and doesn't have understanding of the fundamentals of designs will surely hit the rock over time. Now, these are the elements of designs: the lines, spaces, scale, texture, shapes. You have 6 cardinal points in designs. Lines alone make designs. Okay, of recent, I was working on my new workspace at home, and I just felt the wall looks blank, and I came up with a design and I framed it. And anytime I look at the wall now, it looks appealing to me because through lines and spaces, shapes, color, text, I'm able to put up something that speaks to my present need and will always continue to inspire me to work. So see yourself as a designer who thinks beyond money. That's one thing. See yourself as a designer who thinks beyond money. And when you have that, it helps you a lot to solve problems. Your thoughts aren't blocked up because of monetary values. So now these are the elements of design. Number 1, line is the most basic element of design. Everyone draws line. Everyone has just this line. We can use it to make designs. Lines alone make designs. Lines are useful for dividing spaces and drawing the eyes to a specific location. You have your arrow pointing to a location, you are communicating. Now think of how you can make it so unique that it doesn't look cliche, like someone who is designing with Microsoft Word and you are designing with an app that aids design. What makes you unique as a designer is the fact that your output is unique. It is not the regular output. That's what makes you unique as a designer. So lines also is used in magazine, it's used in tables. You know, you draw tables for magazines. It's used in drawing shapes. It's used in logos itself. There are some logo designs that you need to draw some lines, get accurate, like to build your logo itself using the shape builder tool, which is in Illustrator. So now we go to the next one, colors. This is very fundamental. Any designer who doesn't understand color is setting him or herself for failure. Color is the most obvious element of design for both the user and the designer. There are some colors that speaks to a particular industry. You use those colors there. The ability for you to make colors and come out a unique output makes you a unique designer. We can't see, there's some part of the world that those who mourn, they wear white. But in this part of Africa, you know, those who mourn, majorly they are in black. So if you go to those countries, I can't remember the particular part of the world. If you go to that part of the world now and you wear black, black doesn't mean money, it means class. It gives you that elegance to them. Someone who is on white all through from head to toe shows that the person is money. So you can see that colors differ from region to region. Colors create a mood and it tells story about a particular entity. And every color has something to say. The combination of different colors has an impression on your heart, your eyes. The first thing that thing that you need to understand is that someone who is blind won't understand the usefulness of color. So the receptive element or part of the body that appreciates color first is the eyes. And once the eye sees it, it sends a signal to the brain. If it's too hot, we send a signal to the brain, and the brain tries to interpret what it means. If it's balanced enough, the brain receives it, and you have this happy and cool feel. So that's how useful the color is. Same thing to the lines. We also have shapes. I think it's quite explanatory enough. They come in geometric and organic shapes. They are used to create lines, to create boundaries. They are used to emphasize portions. They are used to emphasize portions of designs rather, and they are used to call attention. Shapes alone, irregular shapes and irregular lines can be used to form an abstract shape. And at the end of the day, it becomes appreciative to the eye. So we have skills for your logos, for your designs, want to scale up, get something. Your scale is relative in size. And it is used to create emphasis too. For those doing logo designs, you understand the usefulness of skills. Any icon or element that scales so big in such a way that it is not appreciated in design becomes a noise. It becomes something that makes your design not stand out. So that's why that for everything, I have an artboard of 1000 by 1000 pixel. Any designs I'm doing mustn't pass a ratio of, let's say, 800 pixels square round. That means I need borders around my shapes, my artboard itself. So you understand what I mean by artboard when I open the design, like the application I use, and we just start a little design there. So it have texture too. Think of texture on your material. Think of pattern on your material. Think of how we can implement this texture here on design and give us something unique. And texture is used to create a visual tone that can influence the look and feel of a piece. I can have a grunge texture that gives depth to my design. Now, where texture comes into place is that it helps your design to have a strong look. It helps your design to have something unique, not just plain. And when you repeat this over time, it gives you a pattern. And this pattern becomes appreciable when it is used in the right position. And I think over time, so you get to understand what it's all about. And this is more of an introductory class, whereby we just talk at the basics and we build on the basics. Because when you understand these basics, it helps you build and grow faster. So we have space too. It can either be negative or positive space. So from the shape here, I think it explains everything. The space can be negative, it can be positive. So now this space now has, the negative space has a do not field. See your donut and look at the hole in the donut. You have a negative space. Something was knocked off from the donut. The donut was actually like the positive space, which is a complete circle. But just to give it a unique shape and design, they yanked off that middle part of the donut, and we have a negative spaced donut. So think of negative space and think of donut. Think of positive space and think of an orange. So I think with this, you will have better understanding. And the material will be available for everyone actually. So you can just go through it later on. So we have types of design careers you can explore. This is more of an explanatory class. So design is wide. Graphics design is wide. Graphics design is the mother of all designs. UI UX, logo designs, marketing and advertising designs, packaging designs, print and publication designs, editorials, lettering and type designs. Just think of anything design. Graphic design is the mother of all. But what makes you as a designer is what makes you unique as a designer is you picking a niche and going deep down. Over time, most newbies end up getting stuck because they see someone doing something they like, it appeals to them. They try it out. Someone else does something they like, it appeals to them, they try it out. So over 6 months, they've been hopping like grasshoppers and they don't really have their bearing. Now, I've had the opportunity to mentor some people from afar, like from afar. Some don't even know. I don't even know I'm mentoring them until they told me that, oh, thanks, boss, for doing what you're doing and stuff like that. So, and over the years, there's someone I know very well, and I know how I started this design journey. But I could notice something. He had, in the process of the design journey, he picked a niche and he went deep down into that and is doing excellently well in that niche. So for anyone who chooses design as a profession or a career, design is not your side gig. If you treat it as a side gig, it will treat you as a side gig too. So it will always give you money for side gigs. It will never give you money to foot your bill as a family man, family woman, a student in school. So look at those young guys over there in the US and the UK. Here in Nigeria, basically, they don't go to the office. All they do is they do their job very well. They give due diligence to what they do. They're exceptional at what they do. And you have HRs of organizations outside the country looking for them. So see yourself, where do you want to go into in these designs? Design is something that needs your attention. It's good, yeah, with the help of some softwares which have made it so easy, more like a drag and drop. It's easy for people to create designs. But if you see yourself going deep down into design to solve problems, then you will spend more time, you invest more in yourself, and you get more results. I think that's where we end for today. But before we leave, I just want to do a quick design, just something quick and simple so I think so that you understand what I'm saying, and it won't look as if I came to preach here this morning. So thank you very much. Let me set up my application for the design class. Over to you, sir, Pastor Farohunbi.
Okay, thank you very much for this amazing session. It's actually a beautiful one for us to know the basics and the fundamentals of design. I wanted to say web design because actually when you need to design, you actually need to do a lot of designs. And the basics of shapes, line, color, and every other thing is very, very important in design. So those of us, we are 10 in number here right away. So I want us to unmute ourselves one after the other and tell us, have you made a design before? What was people's perception about your design? And what's your goal in web design? So just answer those three questions and so that our facilitator would join us. I know you can't wait to be a very, very good graphic designer. Now, let me also say at this point that our facilitator is a stellar graphic designer. He told you today that he learned it by himself, but he has acquired several skills that have made him to be so costly. Now, let me give you this expo that I can attest to the work of Helix. I've recommended him to several brands, and some of the brands, we've done 100,000 naira job before. I mean, just 2 weeks, 100,000 naira job. Am I right, Helix?
You're right. You're right.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that if you do your homework very well as a graphic designer and be the best one, you can actually do it. I see a word turning into a word depending on skill sets. There's nobody that will turn out a business today that will not need the service of a graphic designer. And many graphic designers, when you get into the level of being a pro, you will not even want to be in the corridors of a brand because the brand can just label you with 200,000 naira and that will be all. They'll say they will pay you and they will give you chunks of work to do. But if you are on your own, I can tell you that you can earn more than that every month. But these days, I'm afraid of calling money because people will say, this man used to call money, call money. Is it that easy to get it? It is real, actually. It's actually real for those that develop themselves to get to that pedestal. So, who is our first responder? Tell us your name. Have you made any graphic design before? What was people's perception about it? And what did you use? You use Canva, Pixel app, or which other application? So, who is talking first? Yes, unmute yourself, or else I'll start calling your name one after the other. So no escape routes. And I'll log the group, nobody's going out. All right, so Priscilla or Notunji, yes. Can we hear you?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, elected guys. Thanks for the session. I've done design before, but okay, maybe I started learning just this year. I was a beneficiary of Diggy Girls cohort 2. So basically, no one has seen my work because I'm actually, like he said, having low self-esteem with one's work is a no. But I think it's just my husband that have seen my work and he's like, oh, they are beautiful designs. Can I post it? I'll say, no, don't post it, don't post it. So just for me now is to develop my own a high self-esteem in designing and also to get the best in the designing field without trying to narrow down what I want to do, because I don't even know which part I'm going through. I'm just taking this, designing it, taking that, designing it. So I think this class will be a beneficiary one for me. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Priscilla, Mrs. Onotunji. for those comments. I'm pretty sure that if you show one or two questions about your design, they can give you a good feedback about what you've done, and they can also comment. We actually need a third eye to see our work to be sure that we're doing something well before we can say that we are doing it so well by ourselves. So, and I'm sure that when you do it regularly, you'll be a pro in it. The proverb that says, practice makes perfection is actually seen in skill acquisition. If you do it regularly by yourself, you would become a pro while learning from other people. That is standing on the shoulders of those that are professionals in it. Who is talking next? I want to hear from us. So can we have you? Who is talking next? Can you raise up your hand? I can see Talita here. I can see Grace. I can see Emmanuel, Deborah, Testimony, Joseph, Oluwabukumi, Emmanuel, Techno Spark 4. Can you kindly rename yourself? I can also see Ajibola, John Okweyemi. So yes, who is talking next? Can we have Talita speak, please? I've been seeing your designs. I used to see a lot of your designs. Yes, can you tell us about it?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, ma.
Morning.
Thank you so much for organizing this class. Actually, I started with templates, editing templates on Canva. I'd always loved designing just to create things together, but I guess one of the issues I had was narrowing down. I just wanted to do everything. I just wanted to design. I want to do this, but recently I signed up with someone, and it's been 2 months into the designing class, and I've been posting and sending out, and I've been getting feedback that I'm improving a bit, but the narrowing down is still an issue. Being able to narrow down to what you want. Helix was saying something about narrowing down and it's taking your time. I'm a full-time businesswoman. Now, combining the two together, how possible, maybe this is a question, how possible is it to be able to combine the two together? Is there a niche that I can narrow down to that I'll still be able to combine? The major reason why I started was because of my business. I wanted to be able to put 1 or 2 things together for my business. And that was one of the reasons, aside the love for it, that was one of the reasons why I had to go into it. Now, if I want to narrow down, is there a niche I can narrow down into, or it has to be based on my interest? Because it's like everything is my interest. So is it that I have to pick one and that is going, I will be able to combine being a business person with it? And I don't know, but I hope to get the best from this class and be able to narrow it down.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm pretty sure that our facilitator would answer your question, but if I may give professional advice, I would say that a time will come in the future when you give your work to professional graphic designers so that they can do the work for you. Sorry, I'm in a meeting. Hello.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry for that distraction. Okay. So a time will come when you need a professional graphic designer to help you with your graphic design because you need to focus on it. As a business owner for many years now, I discovered that the same person that is the digital marketer is the person doing the core of the work, is the person doing marketing, is the person doing distribution, is the person doing graphics, is the person doing everything. Why? That is not supposed to be. We're supposed to have an arm of the business that does that. So I'm going to say and also pray that God will so much expand your business that you will be able to stratify those units so that you can even bring graphic design into fashion designing, so that you can give an, let me use architectural overview of how a clothing will look like before the product is even made, so that the person would have a graphic overview, more or less like the way you can show someone how a house will be built before the house is built. So you can do something like that that will also help your intending customers to appreciate you more. At that time, when someone wants to sew, for example, a wedding gown, and then you show the person using your knowledge in graphic design or an hired graphic designer, you will be able to tell the person, this is how your clothing will look like. And you've done that just using graphic design, and it's going to scale up your business. My thought these days is how to be relevant in the next 20 years. It's not how to be relevant in 2023. It's how to be relevant in the next 20 years. Because in the next 20 years, many of the applications we are using now will even be obsolete. So we need to up our game. I think I've answered it.
Can I also add to that?
Please go ahead. I was expecting that.
Okay. So it's good like that you have a flair for designs, and it's not a surprise to me because you're a fashion designer. So, and what you need to do now is you're starting. You need to now look at how what Pastor said. How can you come into this industry and be unique? Not just a fashion designer pushing pixels, not just a fashion designer sewing, but a fashion designer who can sit down and draw out a sketch for our designs. A fashion designer who can sit down and say, okay, I don't want to sew now. All I need to do is design, have a design, a 3D design of a particular piece and sell it out. So it now leads to the fact that you need to start doing some background research on industry standard applications that you can learn that will help you get to that desired location of yours, where it's not about peddling the machine,
yes,
but
you are
selling your thoughts.
Yes.
Selling your thoughts, your ideas. Look at, okay, people talk about the best piece in the world. Go to UK. There's a street in UK whereby the clothes they sew, I can't afford it because it's hand sewn. They sit down, they do the designs, do everything on ground. You see it. Those that wear those clothes are stinkily rich people. So put yourself in that position that, oh, I want to scale up. I don't want to just be, oh, Ewaron show, Mona show, we have this design that is out to come and sell. But you package yourself in a way. Now, your designs that you are doing, we don't say you should do designs as a designer now. There isn't designs to support your business. You have an outfit now that you just designed that is up for sale. You have a mini studio. What do you need by a mini studio? You just need a background. Maybe it's a green screen, or that's a green material where you can change the background, or you have a particular wallpaper installed in your room. Get a nice big ring light that you can change the temperature of the light. Have your mannequin, dress it well, snap this picture, bring it to your phone that you use for your designs or your system, put it together, write this, we have this sales code, 20% off, 2% off, refer to and get this. That is you now supporting your main business. Design is not your main business itself. It's just a tool for you to take your fashion business to the next level, so that I don't get confused that, oh, I want to be a designer, I want to be a fashion designer. So when you're taking yourself to the next level now, you're already thinking of the part of you now designing piece that people can buy and sew. So that's how it works.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. Helix, can we go ahead now?
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Okay,
so
please.
I'll be, let me stop this and share. Stop share. So it's just a basic design. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So here now, what I want to do is I want to create a nice design.
For the purpose of those
So what
that-
makes
For the purpose of those that will be listening to us after now, please can you tell us this application you're using so that others can basically maybe how to download it from Get into PC or some other platform. The free version, limitations of the free version and paid version. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm using Adobe Photoshop. It's like one of the industry applications for designs. So basically, the application is a paid application where you subscribe for. Like what I'm using a full version Adobe Photoshop. So it means that I have to renew yearly or monthly. But because of the part of the world we find ourselves, we have access to cracked version of this app, which you can get into PC for those using Windows, and for those using MacBook, you can get it from Mac Torrent. You just need to download. All you need is your data. That's what you're going to spend there. So it is one of the best as of today. Industry application.
You can get it from.
I will send the link. I will send the link to the chat. So
Okay,
get into PC. Let me just type it now. I'm coming. Get into PC. So this is one of the best industry apps now for design that we have in the world, and they are expanding on a daily basis. So if you are following the net,
posted it for you. Just go ahead.
Okay. So now, what I want to do is I just want to get something simple, a quick, simple design that looks functional. So I have two images I'm going to use. This is the church image. So basically, I need to explain how I move things inside here. So what I do majorly is that either you drag and drop into the application, or you go and open. You go to, let's say, open. Can you see my screen?
We can see. Yes, we can.
Okay. Comment there, first class. So now church, I pick up this church, both here, and I open it. So what it's going to do here is that it is going to open it in different windows. So this is what I need. I need this church background. All I just need to do is unlock, copy, Control C. For those using Mac, it is Command C. Then I go back to my artwork here, and I paste it. So there's something that happens here. The reason why I pasted it here now is that I want to use it here on the design, but the design is not more a smart object. So if you are using Photoshop, you go to your artboard, where we have these layers here on the artboard. Layer 1, which is, let me just name it church. So this is church. Now you right click on it and convert it to smart object. Why we need to do that is because we want to maintain quality. When we scale, so that the quality will be maintained. If I left it the other way around without making it a smart object, if I scale it, it's going to lose its quality. So that's why we are scaling now. So this is what I need. Now, welcome to church. So I'm going to create a background, or let's have it this way. Yes, I will create another layer with solid colors here. So change it to white, then move it below the church layer. So we can see that we have something that works now. It's not that I'm having a background with an empty space. Hope you are following me. So this is it now. Welcome to church. So I have another layer that I want to introduce here, which is the texture, this layer. Convert it to smart object, copy it, then come back here and paste. So I scale to give me what I want. Now, looking at this, it has covered the main image you want. So there's something we do in Photoshop where you can change opacity, You can change the type of fill you want to give your layers. Look at this now. If you notice, you can see that it's having different fill here on the background image. So what I want here is a multiply. I want to apply a multiply. So, and I'll reduce the opacity. Reduce the opacity like this now. So just a simple design that says welcome to church. Welcome. Let me copy and paste. Church. So now it's here. What I want to do is, what makes this design a good design that is appealing now is we already have shapes. No, we have an image, we have text, we have color. But look at this color now. It is off the color swatch we have here. Now we have fonts. I need to change the font to give me what I want, which is you have different kind of fonts. I need a long font. Now make it caps. So I want to change the color of my fonts here to a different color. So I come here, I click on this and use the color picker to choose a color that speaks to the swatch, the theme we have here on the background. We have more of green, have black. So let's say welcome to church. And we are glad to have you back. So I reduced the, give me something nice, medium. What makes your design nice again is your creativity. Now, there's no crime leaving this thing like this without doing any other thing there. But I want to have something unique. So I'm changing this font to something unique. I'll give me what I want. That makes me have something different. I say this is this here. Coming. Let me select subject. I want to pick up the background. Remove background. Okay. Sorry. It's looking like magic, right? So
yes, we are doing magic.
yes, it's going to be like that for today. Sorry. When you go through, one thing is that because I'm using the most updated version of Photoshop, it gives me some easy easy functions. Now, on I would have gone to the background, knocking off the white portion of the background individually. But because on this Photoshop I'm using, there's already a function for that, remove background, to knock off everything using AI. To knock off the things that I don't need. So that's why it looks pretty simple for me here. So what I need to do now is I will move this church down here. Now, after doing this, now I want to reduce the opacity of this. I'll come here, reduce the opacity. See, it has taken to 0. Church. No. We are glad to have you back in church. So let's say we have time for service. I'll change my fonts to railway. And one thing again about design that you need to understand at early stages, avoid using multiple type of font. Maximum, if you are doing any design, your font should be more than 2 or 3 typefaces. Now I have this, which is railway. I have this, which is typo longest demo. I have this, which is doctor. So this doctor now is not visible enough. So it's not creating it's not like an element. It's not having so much effect on the design. The major thing you see here is this. So let's say location. Okay, Odo. Or let's say Osiri. The like Bible Church. Osiri. So now, look at this now. Let's say we finish the design and elect it this way. You see where scale comes into place. We need to scale this thing down to give us something that is appealing to the eye. So scaling can be applied on anything, on object, on shapes, on whatever you call it. So now we have this here, but I don't want it in caps, I want it small letter. So this is this. Then I change it to extra bold. Considering the fact that I don't want to be too dark, something like, or let me leave it in caps. And leave it in caps. So take this to medium. So this is it now. I see this is short. Time for service. Let's choose this Monday. You just see demo, so you understand what I'm saying. Monday, 24th. September 2020. So can I reduce this, make it shorten? So we're looking at this. It looks simple, but it passes the information straight away. Keeping your design simple makes your design unique. So this is this now. Let's say we are done already. Welcome to church. And if I say, okay, I want to make it black and white, I can come here and change it to black and white. You can see it gives that feel for black and white. You can reduce this to get the color in just a little bit. So here we are now. We've already created the design. Something simple for the first class. So this same thing can be replicated on your mobile device. Those that use those different applications, it's just you getting the element, the image that speaks to the particular information you're trying to pass. And when you have this settled, it makes your designs good. So I was talking about something that when you're designing, learn to give breathing space around your designs. So what I do most times is that I create guides. Okay, I just draw something like a shape, like a square shape. When I draw this, then I use it as a guide. I draw my ruler, that's as a guide. Draw it here, another guide. So if I'm coming down here too, same thing happens there. I draw my ruler, it serves as a guide. Draw this, it serves as a guide. So my text must not exceed this blue line across the text. It mustn't exceed it. So now look at this. But there are some rare occasions where towards this footer, I don't obey that rule. But this side here, here, and the top, it has to fall in place. So here we are now, we have our design. I want to save this artwork now. I click on this church, first design. Now rename this to class 1. So this is an artboard. What I created here is an artboard. If I click on this, instead of opening a new file, if I click on this, it creates a blank one for me again. Same thing happens here. So that's how it goes. Just ignore whatever you're seeing here. It goes that way. So that's exactly how it works. So let me export this now. File, go to export, export to file. So it's going to save it in that folder that I've opened, which is first class. First design class 1. So I think any question? Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for this introduction and clarity. By way of summary, number 1, we must have observed color, as it was said. We must have observed line. We must have observed shape, etc. So I want us to ask questions now. Those of us that have questions, just raise up your hands to ask your questions.
I think Sister Priscilla has a question.
Hi, thank you. My question is on sizes. Like this artboard is what size now? Because I know that different designs have different sizes, and that's another problem that I don't even know. Like I don't understand it. So, what kind of size for different projects, for flyers, for cards, those kind of sizes?
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
So I think from what you said, now think of your phone, your mobile device, it comes in a particular size, particular dimension. So what necessitates the particular design, the particular type of any design is that where is it going to be used? That's the first thing you have to consider. Is it going to be used on a digital space? Is it meant for print? When you have all those questions answered, then that will determine what size you're doing. For instance, what I use majorly for my social media designs is either you make it 1000 by 1000 pixels or 2000 by 2000 pixels. All you need to do is that make it in square. If you're going for Twitter, Twitter has its own dimension. It's 500 by 15. It's basic landscape. So whatever space you're using will determine how your design will determine the artboard size. But if you're using like a Photoshop, for instance, as your official application for design, it's going to show you various options for mobile device. This is the size. For maybe for slide, this is the size. Whatever it is, it's going to show you. So over time, you get accustomed with the various sizes and dimensions based on the need on ground.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Okay, someone just asked, can the sizes be written down? Yeah, okay. For instance, let me just drop it on the chat. We have 1000 by 1000 pixel. That's px. That's for square, for those doing square designs. Another thing again you should understand is that the size of your design is dependent on the need on ground. If I'm designing for a mobile device, I need to go and check the specification of the size of the screen online and use that as my basis. So, and for everyday designs, like the social media designs you do, it is square. Square, it comes in square. So think of square at a large ratio. If you do 500 times by 500, you notice that your design will pixelate when you post it on a larger scale, maybe on the social media. So if you want to do that on social media, the best thing is to stay safe by being on 1000 or 2000 by 2000. So, and for Adobe, someone asked the question that does Adobe Photoshop require internet connection before it can work? No. If you are using the standalone application, you don't need mobile internet. The only thing that makes mobile internet come in handy is when you want to do your research. Basically, just quickly go online, check what you want to check, continue your work. So that's how it works. So for Canva, someone asked another question, sir, Canva, Adobe, or whichever app you're using, is the dimension the same? You can use the same dimension on Canva. It doesn't matter. The dimension is not application specific. It is need specific. What is the need on ground? That's the first thing. If you can answer that question, then you are good to go.
Sorry, sir. It's like you don't understand that question.
Okay.
I meant if you're using Canva, Adobe, whichever app you're using, as you're saying 1000 by 1000 for a square for social media, that 1000 pixel by 1000 pixel is the same on Canva, on Adobe, or whichever app you're using.
It's going to be the same if the unit is the same. If you're going to use 1000 by 1000 millimeter on Canva, and you use 1000 by 1000 pixel on Photoshop, they are having two different units. So what matters is the unit. You need to understand, okay, what unit are you using? Let's say the generic unit everyone knows about here is centimeter. let's use 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter on Photoshop, on Pixel, on Canva. It is going to be the same thing. You get. So any other question?
Someone is sending a question in the chat. Difference between Adobe and Illustrator.
Yes, Adobe itself, it's a pixel-based application which is used for deep editing. Illustrator is a vector-based application. So they all have their use and they always have handshakes. There are some places you use them together. For instance, I want to do a logo design. Okay, yes, I'm working on a branding project now. And I need to edit pictures to use on Illustrator. After I'm done with the editing on Photoshop, I take out the background, convert it to what I want to do, and I'm working on a vector-based design. Then I import that picture I've designed or worked on Photoshop into Illustrator. So what makes Illustrator different from Photoshop is that one is pixel-based. When you zoom in, you see squares. That's what I mean by pixels. They come in pixels, they come in bits. But for Illustrator, you will zoom in, you keep zooming in, you keep seeing solid colors, solid. Nothing will pixelate in Illustrator as an application. So that's the difference.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have other questions? So now, can you give us, I'm sure that our facilitator has an assignment for everybody. My own first assignment is for everyone to go ahead and download Adobe Photoshop, go to getintopc.com, then search for it and download it. So that you can try your hand on something. So our facilitator will tell us what you should design so that between now and the next class, you must present what you have. There's an objective of this training. It's not just for you to have the head knowledge. There's this theory of use and misuse that God introduced in the world. I believe God introduced it before scientists said it out. And whatever you don't use, you lose the ability to use it again. So if you just put your hand on your head for the next 10 days, I did not remove it. By the time you want to start using your hand again, you will not be able to use that your hand as you've been doing before because you just hung it there. So if you have this training and you did not practice it, it's just going to be there like that. Now, another question people may want to ask is, what are the alternatives that you can try your hands on in case you don't have a PC with you, either at the moment or you don't have access to a PC? Or maybe your PC does not even have the requirement to install Adobe Photoshop. So you can try your hand on Canva, you can try your hand on Pixel Lab and some other ones. But for those two categories, our facilitator will tell us what we have to do in terms of our assignment, and then you send the link to whatever you have done to the Google Classroom. So over to you, sir. Helix.
Okay, so I think what I'll be doing today is to let everyone, you just think of anything creative you can do. I want everyone to bring his creative game to the table. Your thoughts. Just put up something good as design and send it in. I'm not going to give you a specific thing to design, to have your design tilt towards, but I want you to be creative at first. The next class, you can now have something that, okay, I want you to replicate this. Same font, same theme, same texture and everything. But for now, since it's an introductory class, I want you to just think of anything you can put. Maybe you are trying to design. Now, consider the fact that you're looking at, what's it called? The element of designs, like we said before, shapes, color, and everything. You put them into place in whatever you're doing. So come up with a nice design. I will send in the PDF that we used for this class now. so that everyone can download before we leave here. So I hope you get my assignment. Just think of anything good. Create any brief in your head. Come up with a design, then submit that. So we'll now go through it. You can now have more like a feedback class whereby we can talk on each designs, what you can improve, and how you can move forward.
Somebody saying, where do we submit? Submit on the Google Classroom. Submit it on the Google Classroom. Whatever you have done, if you did it on Photoshop, for example, put it up on a drive and copy the link, paste it on for us to go and view it. If you have challenge getting that done, you can contact me. Okay. Somebody saying speak loud. I don't know. Can you hear me now? I'm actually
Yeah,
trying.
the last thing you said, I can't hear at all.
Okay, I said that if your design was done on Canva, you can copy the link and drop it on the Google Classroom. But if your design was done on Photoshop, you can upload it to your Google Drive and send us the link on.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think that's so. So, in the absence of more questions, I think.
Hello, facilitator.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you,
I'll
sir.
meet you.
Please, I think for uniformity's sake and for record's sake, it may be good to write the question or the exercise down, either on this platform, but preferably on the Google Classroom, so that people are coming later on, maybe that means it, they can have a uniform information about what is expected of them, and the assessment of it can also be uniform.
Okay, I'll do that now on this group so you can see it.
Please, sir, don't forget the slide.
I've sent it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. Pastor Tolani, sir, we want your remarks and final benedictions.
All right, thank you very much. Although I joined a little bit late, I've been following, even though I'm in the office doing something, and but at least I was monitoring the designs and some other things you are doing. I think it's just for me to appreciate the facilitators and also you, the moderator, for everything, your commitment, your time and sacrifice. Our goal is that at the end of this, we want to have testimonies of people who pass through the class and they are doing something good with it. You don't just want people who will stop midway or people who will not make the best use of it. I would think that our effort will only be commendable or worth it when we actually have such testimony that in the next few months we'll be having such thing. And I believe that we're going to attain that. So I wish to encourage those of us who can see we are less than 20 here. It doesn't really matter if our number is not so much because we have different goal and perspective. It's not about the number, but what we are able to do with the few who are there. So I play with you, participants in this section, to be committed to it. A lot of people are making a lot of fortune from these things, and it all depends on to what extent you want to go. You can even be an international consultant when you become renowned in the field, not just to limit yourself to your local environment. Almost everything needs a design, one way or the other. So it's still one of the main selling profession as far as we are concerned. And you don't even need a certificate. You don't need a university degree before you do that. So I want to encourage all participants to take it very seriously so that at the end of the day, you have a good use of it. Even if you are not going to be using it to make personal money, the knowledge of it can go a long way to help you in your own profession. Like, when we started giving a response to maybe a fashion design or something, it can add a lot to your own personal profession if you are not going to it to be making personal money in that sense. So I plead with you to take it very seriously and you will not regret doing that. And we're also looking for the person we emerge top in this group. We hope everybody will struggle to end that position. So we thank you, facilitator and moderator, for everything you have done. We are very much grateful for your time and commitment. The Lord will bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, by the grace of God, we are going to have this class again Wednesday. Our facilitator is pretty busy. He only tried.
So when did you say the class is going to hold again?
Same time next Wednesday.
Okay, all right, sir.
So, but if we are going to graciously have some tidbits in between, he will let us know. But for me schedule, he only gave us Wednesdays. That means that next week is going to be the second and the last class. Try to appeal again to our facilitator if we can get one more day before that time. But if not, try to see how we can get us some resources we can look at and go through before we round up. Well, as a way of rounding off, I want to let us know that skills make you rich, not theories. So what you do, like Pastor Tolani said, what you have learned now that will make you you can go back now and start running your hands on. Get it? So if in case you get something very, very good out of it, then you qualify to win the award. So thank you so much. We'll come your way next week. Bye.
Thank you, sir.